What's going on, world? It's your main man, the author. Right back at that ass again. Here's another one. Just want to make this next video, man. I want to talk about these weak beta male manginas, man. These weak black men who want to try to act like everything's okay with black women. Very weak beta type behavior. That want to say white women do it. I mean, they actually sound. If you really listen to them, they sound like black women. And a lot of these are the offspring of what black women have raised, especially these males who've lived in households where it was nothing but women. But yeah, man, this guy, I just want to bring this up. It was this guy, right? We were close enough. It was the end of the shift. And I was talking about, because some of my coworkers know that I choose not to date black women for the most part. If I do date them, it'll be, they're few and far between. I used to all the time, but now I'm taking another route. Expanding my horizon, should I say. So and every guy should, man. I mean, if there's other racial groups out here, that are interested, you shouldn't just shut them out because of their race. Because you got people, you might find a girl from another race that loves you way more than any black woman could. A lot of black women are sick at this point. Not saying the whole race isn't sick, but it's a bit different for women, and that difference causes lower self-esteem, things of that nature, which is why their behavior is very poor, man. But yeah, you got a lot of weak men on YouTube, all over the internet, man, that'll stand by black women and tell them that they're okay, and it's the black males that are messed up, just to get views or just to get money, and people have known since the days of the mid-'90s, even when I was a kid. You had Sally Jesse Raphael and all these different shows to Donahue, and they talked about how fucked up black men were. You could see movies like Spike Lee made a movie. What was that? Jungle Fever. When I was a teenager, and she showed the part where Wesley, his wife, found out that he was cheating with an Italian girl. And they had a war room with all the black women got into the room and started talking about how fucked up black men are, and how they're, most black guys are either gay, in jail, or all this other bullshit. So now that black men have a form, I mean, and some of these guys are young. To their defense, they don't go back as far, so they're like, well, why are black men going off on black women? And some of us that are at least 40, we kind of get an idea. We kind of have an idea of what's going on. But some people that are much younger, especially the ones in their 20s, they don't know shit. So they're kind of confused. So why you keep talking down about black women, all women, so they don't know. They don't know dick. And a lot of them, too, are the offsprings of weak black women. So they've been trained to believe that black women are perfect. When we all know that no woman is perfect, especially not black women. But yeah, this one guy, young guy, man, he was in the shop, and we were talking about because she was like, well, everybody has a preference, even my man right here has a preference, even Ray has a preference. Oh yeah, I was like, yeah, shit, I do. I choose to date who I want to date. And everybody who I want to date ain't a black woman, right? And I said, son, we were talking. I was like, well, what about weaves? Who mostly wears weaves? He said, oh, everybody wears weaves. He's a thin, light-skinned dude. These light-skinned niggas. Not all of them, but a lot of the light-skinned dudes is just, I even had a light-skinned chick who said she wouldn't date other light-skinned dudes because she thought that they were soft or they were faggots. and stuff like that. But I mean, and I'm not saying on average all light skinned dudes are faggots, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying that was her perspective of it. Uh, but I mean, he kind of fed into the light skinned dude stereotype. You know, they're the first to jump to the aid of a black woman. He was a thin dude. He's like, well, yeah, you don't know what you talking about. All races of women wear weave. All races of women. I said, okay, well, what race wears weave so much and buys so much weave that they make the weave industry $1 billion industry? All women wear weave. So, you know, because he don't. I asked that because I know he has not done the research and he does not know. So he didn't answer the question. But then I said, well, do all women make the weave industry $1 billion industry? Yeah, oh yeah. It's like, okay, man, fool ass. All right, man. I mean, but you know, my point, and he's the same dude who told me because this girl called him on the phone, right? He says that his girl slapped him in his face, broke his glasses, and refused to pay to have the lenses fixed. I repeat, this bitch slapped him in his fucking face, broke his glasses, right? This is the chick. I think he lives with this chick, right? Broke his glasses and refused to pay for the lenses to be fixed. I said, why would you even put up with that? Because he's black? He said, well, it's just love. It's love, man. It's love. How the fuck is that love? Because you know, if you flip the side of that coin, right? If he had to slap the shit out of her, no matter what she had to do, even if he had to call her riding another dude's dick, if he had to slap the shit out of her and knocked her glasses off, some chick would have been in her ear, especially a white chick. You ought to leave him. He's abusive. You ought to leave him. Right? You know, and these manginas, these weak ass black men do not understand that, man. They do not understand. All you have to do to see the inequality is to look at the situation and then flip the coin. That's all you got to do. And then compare and contrast. And I know some of these dudes have not, they barely graduated high school. Some of them don't even have a GED. That's fine, man. You know what I mean? That's fine. All of us don't have to be super educated to get this. If you don't get compare and contrast, I got you. If you don't get, you know, how to read the situation critically, critical analysis, looking through at an image through a critical feminist lens, you don't understand that, I got you. You know what I mean? You don't have to understand certain components like that, but be critical, man. Don't just take everything that they say. Don't sound like a black female parrot and you a man. He gonna tell me, oh, you talking like that? I bet you your mama don't even cook for you. I said, I'm a full grown goddamn man. Why do I need my mother to cook for me? Then he gets quiet. Like you forget you a grown man, black man. You don't need nobody to cook for you if you ain't 6, 7, and 8. The fuck out of here, right? I mean, that's crazy. You know, it's so crazy, man. And here's the thing, man. I mean, they sit up here and they talk. You know, I'm not saying dog anybody out, but read the situation critically. Some of these guys are already in abusive relationships, and the average guy, if he's getting kicked around by his woman, he can't go to the police, because a lot of times too, most abuse is happening. It's the flip side of the coin. It's the female kicking the man's ass, and he too embarrassed to admit it, right? And even if he does admit it, they'll ask him, what did he do? Prime example. I've been uploading a lot of videos that showed women abusing men. This one guy on YouTube, he was just, you know, doing a little dance behind this white guy, right? Doing a dance behind this white female, and she cold cocked the shit out of him, and he didn't hit her back. Another video on YouTube, dude is talking to the chick. She said, call me another bitch. Call me another bitch. Call me another bitch. And he talking to her, and she hits this guy. And he's stunned, and he don't hit her back. So this other video, where this black female's acting like a man, a stereotypical angry man. She's acting because she don't know what it's like to be a man, but they act in the stereotypical way that they feel a man should act, right? That's why the deaths of females, young females, are starting to rise. So she's talking about, it's making me angry, nigga. It's making me feel some type of way. They're on the subway, they're on the train, right? She in this black man face. It's making me angry, nigga. You know, you got me feeling some type of way. I missed my stop, my nigga. And next thing you know, she hauls off. She's hitting this dude, right? He's a slender dude. She's hitting him. She gets the best of him. The dude falls, and she's still kicking him while he's down, punching him, right? And people on the train are cheering her on, saying, I told you not to mess with her. Right? And the dude didn't raise one hand at her. Right? And she's kicking him, beating him, knocked him down. Nobody's pulling this female off of this guy. Now, here's the thing. We don't know if this guy has a medical condition, or maybe he just doesn't want to hit a black woman back because he's afraid of the repercussions, right? But she gets the best of him and continues to beat on him. Now, here's my situation. Here's my problem with that. In all three of these situations, there was a discussion, and the female was the first one to be aggressive, right? And then if it's something that they didn't like, something was said they didn't like, or something was done that they didn't like, and they struck first. They struck. They just got violent. Boom, just like that. But the females will tell the world that no one has a right to put their hands on them because, you know, if a man gets the best of a female, what does she do? She's going to call the cops, even if she was guilty first, right? Only way she won't call them is if she's whooping your ass. But if you get the best of her, she's going to call the cops and say, you don't put your hand. Nobody can put their. I've had a lot of females tell me that. Can't nobody put their hands on them. They don't want nobody to put their hands on them, meaning they don't want anybody to discipline them, to put them in line, no matter what. Now, these other countries, these Muslim countries, if females act a certain way, they'll chop their fucking heads off. But this is the westernized world where females can just run rampant and go wild and act like fools, right? So, here's my thing. And that's what I was, and I told this lady at work, the video I saw, the specific one with the female beating on the man on the train, you know what she said? What did he do? What did he do? Like, there is a reason for her to beat him down on the train. He didn't do shit. He didn't raise a hand at her. She beat him because he said something that she didn't like. And she made that abundantly clear before she attacked. And that's why I told her, I said, look, if females live by the motto, no, a man can't put their hands on her, regardless of what the fuck she did, then that same rule should apply with females. Don't put your hand on a man if he don't put his hands on you. You can't put your hands on him. But they don't live by that. If you make an average female mad, she might clock you. And other people cheer that shit on. And a lot of society doesn't feel that's weird. And manginas support that. Because it was manginas on the bus talking about, I told you not to fuck with her. And the dude was talking calmly to the chick. And she knocked him down and stomped him. See, females have to be contained, man. God doesn't make mistakes. When Britain in the 1800s had the rule of thumb, that meant that you can beat your wife's ass with something, but it couldn't be the object couldn't be any bigger than your thumb, because before that you can beat her ass with anything that you could find, basically. And the Napoleonic law used to say that a man can impose death, up to death, on a female if that means that he has to maintain his position as a man, as the leader in a household. Like that man can take her to the point of death if that means, in other words, if she's trying to overtake that household and she gets too wild, he can almost kill that bitch if that means to put her in her place. Now, these laws were the white man's laws, but they reversed it in the black community so shit could be upside down, because that's how they were able to get so much power. They kept the females in line, man. The Napoleonic law, which was the French and the British, had their laws. Everybody had the laws that said a man was supposed to be the head of the household. If that man was challenged, where in a point where he felt he wasn't going to be the head of that household, and he can go up to the point he can go upside a bitch head, pretty much. Because back in them days, you had females coming up dead left and right. It's like the average Muslim female. If you bring her over here, she not wilding out. She not going crazy and shit, slapping men upside the head. If she see you walking, she'll move out the other way. Now, some of them come over here because white folks have told them, or the embassy have told them that certain black men ain't shit, so they can, some of them, especially them Hindus, have been schooled and told that black men ain't shit, so you don't have to respect them. But one-on-one, if you see some of those Muslim women, man, I saw one day, she just got out of my way. You got some American black women that are trying to get in your way, even if you're trying to avoid them. That's the type of society that we're getting here in the West, i.e. the USA, man. And I think it's being done on purpose, and it's really it started in the 70s and things of that nature. Even the decade when I was born, and it took its toll in that decade. But it's turning everything upside down, man. And with women across the board. But again, if it's bad for white women, it's going to be twice as bad for black women, the women who are subjugated to that racial group that's on the top of the heap in terms of economic resources, praise, things of that nature. So, and I know some young cats won't get this. It's not for them. Some advanced young cats that are smart, they'll get this. Some other young cats, they're not going to get this, man. That's fine. I didn't really get all of this when I was young either, man. And I used to, even though I didn't know my father at the time, and still really don't, but still raised with my granddad, so it was cool. But I didn't know my father at the time. But even without meeting him, I used to hate him because my mother said that she was beaten by him. And it wasn't until I joined the Navy when I was 18, when the brother told me, he said, man, go. He said, every young male should talk to their father because there's two sides to every story. And these females aren't telling the truth. And that brother was right, man. He's still alive, man. I never forget that he told me that. And he's right. Because how many females have you heard sit down, tell you a story of some type of conflict that happened between them and a man, and they told you that they were wrong? How many times? Because almost every story I've heard in my life where I've sat down and listened to a female complain about how a man dogged them out, or complained, or say this, every time I've had a female sit down and talk about a conflict between her and a man, he was always wrong, 100%. She did nothing wrong. And that can't be true. And then you see their choices and their lifestyle, and it's like you're far from perfect. That can't be true. So I didn't plan to go this long with this video, man. Don't know what I'm gonna entitle it. Be sure to like, subscribe. Thanks for the support. And this is your main man, the author, signing out.